A young woman named Ede found herself in a desperate situation. With no money to feed her family and no job to be found, she was willing to do just about anything to survive. That's when she met the mysterious stranger. He was tall, with piercing eyes and a sly smile. He offered Eda a deal: spend the night in a room with a snake, and he would pay her a handsome sum of money. Eda was hesitant at first, but the promise of financial stability was too enticing to resist. She agreed to the stranger's terms and followed him to a small, dimly lit room. As she entered the room, Eda saw the snake coiled in the corner, its beady eyes staring at her. She felt a shiver run down her spine, but she steeled herself and lay down on the bed. The night was long and arduous, with Ede tossing and turning as the snake slithered around her and inside her womanhood. But as the hours passed, she began to feel a strange sense of calm wash over her. When the sun rose the next morning, Eda emerged from the room, exhausted but triumphant. The stranger paid her the agreed-upon sum, and Eda returned home to her family, feeling like a weight had been lifted off her shoulders. But as the days passed, Eda began to realize that something was off. She felt a strange connection to the snake, and she started to experience vivid, disturbing dreams. Eda understood the true nature of the stranger's deal. The snake was not just a snake, it was a symbol of a dark and ancient power. And Eda, by spending the night with the snake, had unknowingly tapped into that power. She was now bound to the snake, and to the mysterious stranger who had orchestrated the whole thing. She began to experience vivid dreams and visions, full of symbolism and hidden meaning. The snake would appear to her, its eyes gleaming with an otherworldly intelligence as it whispered secrets and mysteries in her ear. As she delved deeper into the mysteries of the snake, Ede discovered that she had a natural talent for magic. She could feel the power of the snake coursing through her veins, guiding her hands as she wove intricate spells and incantations. Eda was horrified by these developments. She knew that she had to find a way to break free from the snake's influence before it was too late. But as she struggled to assert her own will, she realized that the snake's power was far more deeply ingrained than she had ever imagined. In desperation, Eda turned to the mysterious stranger who had first introduced her to the snake. She begged him to help her, to teach her how to break free from the snake's influence and reclaim her own destiny. The stranger listened to Eda's plea, his eyes glinting with a knowing light. And then, in a voice that was both ancient and eternal, he spoke the words that would change Eda's life forever. "The snake's power is not to be broken," he said, "but it can be harnessed. Are you willing to pay the price, Eda?" Eda hesitated, unsure of what lay ahead. But she knew that she had no choice. She had to take control of her own destiny, no matter the cost. "Yes," she said finally, her voice firm and resolute. "I am willing to pay the price." As the days passed, Ede found herself increasingly under the control of the snake's power. She began to experience strange and terrifying visions, full of slithering serpents and ancient, forgotten lore. And then, the unthinkable happened. Ede discovered that she was pregnant. At first, she was overjoyed at the prospect of becoming a mother. But as the days turned into weeks, and the weeks turned into months, Ede began to realize that something was horribly wrong. The snake's influence was growing stronger by the day, and Ede could feel its power coursing through her veins like liquid fire. She began to experience strange and terrifying cravings, longing to devour raw meat and slithering creatures. As her belly grew, Eda's body began to undergo a grotesque transformation. Her skin turned a scaly, reptilian gray, and her eyes took on a cold, serpentine glare. The villagers were horrified by Eda's transformation, and they shunned her as a monster. But Ede knew that she was not to blame. The snake's power had consumed her, body and soul. Finally, the day of reckoning arrived. Ede went into labor, and the villagers gathered around her, fearful of what might emerge from her womb. As the contractions grew stronger, Ede let out a blood-curdling scream. And then, in a scene of unimaginable horror, she gave birth to a brood of slithering, hissing snakes. The villagers fled in terror, abandoning Ada to her fate. But as she gazed upon the snakes that had emerged from her body, Ada felt a strange sense of pride and accomplishment. For in that moment, she knew that she had fulfilled the snake's dark and ancient purpose. She had become a vessel for its power, a conduit for its malevolent will. As the snake slithered away into the darkness, Ada smiled to herself, knowing that she had been forever changed by the experience. She was no longer human, but a servant of the snake, bound to its will for all eternity. And as she rose to her feet, her body still trembling with the aftershocks of childbirth, Ada knew that she would never be alone again. For she had been transformed into a monster, a creature of the night, forever bound to the service of the snake. Thank you for watching this amazing story.